So tell me who you are and tell me the name of your film.
Okay, Jon Reiss.
I'm Tracy Ware.
Our film's Vomit.
And so curious to hear how you guys came to direct this movie about graffiti art, if you want to call it that.
Well, I'd always liked outsider art and street art, and I'd always loved the murals that I saw on the streets. And a friend of mine introduced me to these writers in New York, and it's just like when I started talking to them, there was like so many different things and so many different. It was like one of those cultures that like you peel off the first layer, and there's just so much going on, and it's just like, you know, and no one had made a film about it in years. It's like, what the fuck, you know? And I don't know, why did you want to do it?
Yeah, it's art for the masses. It's democratization of art. Everyone can access it. It's in all of our lives every day, and we can't avoid it.
So tell me about your expectations for Tribeca Festival itself, for your premiere.
We're going to sell the film.
You know, we really want people to see the film and get the message and really understand like the different levels of the debate with graffiti, because it is something that's happening right now. It's really pressing in all of our lives, but especially in urban cities. And a lot of people are starting to go to jail and, you know, being criminalized for their actions of creating art. And so we want to explore both sides of that story, but we want people to actually examine it a bit further and not just block it out.
I think the main thing, besides my flip comment before, is that we want to show that this film can appeal to a broad audience, that a lot of people can get this film, a lot of people are interested in this topic, and it's certainly, I mean, you talk about enforcement laws, I mean, New York is crazy right now as far as what they're doing to graffiti writers, and it's becoming, New York is like transforming into Los Angeles in a sense. I mean, billboards everywhere, you know, all these like Pottery Barn and Bed Bath & Beyond and Toys R Us. It's like one big strip mall. Like, it's like crazy. It's like, and the characters like kind of being sucked out of it. And it's like, you know, the film, what really kept us going on the film actually is it's not just about graffiti in a sense. It's about what's happening to the urban environment and like who controls what we look at every day, who controls public space, and who controls what the visual landscape is. And it's generally not people.
John, you were just talking about maybe the comparison between Better Living and this film and something you've learned about it, so I'm going to ask you to kind of follow up on the connection between your previous work and this particular film.
Well, Better Living Through Circuitry was about rave culture at a specific slice of time, a specific point in time, and we didn't really try to be historical. We didn't try to be global. It was like U.S. at one point in time, and it was only in depth to a point. It was in depth, but it was only to a point. This, after that, I wanted to go much more in depth with this topic, go all over the world, and really address it historically and go back to the founders of the movement, which we were fortunate enough to do so.
And so how would you compare the climate addressed in both films?
You know, it's like when we did Better Living that there was actually a crackdown happening on it, but it's like dance parties are one thing. I mean, the police bust them and people go away, and, you know, there is a crackdown, but this is like, it was like, you know, they dispersed the party. This is people going to jail for life, essentially. I mean, it's much, much more serious.
Felony crimes.
Yeah, these are felonies that people are arrested for and tried for. It's not a joke. I mean, not that rave parties being broken up was a joke, but it's like, okay, they break up the party, people go home. I mean, it's not like going to prison for the rest of your life.
And once you're a convicted felon, your life completely changes. You don't have rights to vote any longer or participate fully as a citizen in society.
Yeah, it's like if anything, the climate's gotten worse in the last 7 years, because in a sense, both are subcultures, both are kind of like doing alternative things that are alternative, but it's just like things are so much more strict now. I mean, it's just like politically the landscape in the country is just sucks, you know? And it's not just in this country, it's all over the world. I mean, these laws have spread from New York all across the United States and all over the world now, you know, and it's not a joke. Kids are going to jail for years for doing graffiti, and it's serious.